Yo, what's goody, guys? We back at it again with another video, baby. And today we have the community reaction for the GDC celebration. Now, this is actually the first celebration that Dokkan has done where they just completely did away with worldwide downloads and rebranded it as something else. I actually thought it was a pretty good celebration. I thought I'd do like a little community reaction about it, see what everybody else thinks about it. There have been a lot of mixed reviews from the part 1 characters to the part 2 characters. But we're going to see what everybody's thinking about it. You know, I kind of let this sit for a couple of days to marinate. But yeah, let's see what everybody thought about the GDC celebration. All right, so I posed the question. How would y'all rate the first GDC celebration? Thoughts and what could have been done better? Now, in the beginning, I did actually put the characters, but I forgot to put Omega Shenron in there. I couldn't find the picture, and I wanted to get the video out as fast as possible. So, you know, for anybody who's watching this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I left out Omega Shenron. But he's still a good character, nonetheless. All right, so first up, Grim J not including an Omega pick in the post is a crime. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I knew that was going to come up. And like I said, I did forget Omega Shenron. Doesn't make him a bad character. Not at all. Not at all. Don't act like Omega is ass. It was really good overall, but the Gohan bit was really shameful despite his tickets. I mean, I wouldn't really count Gohan as part of the GDC celebration. He was more so just an EX part. Well, I mean, on those terms, I guess you could count him as part of the celebration, but he was more so near the tail end. But it was a little off-putting, you know, just having a Gohan right there. Even though he was extremely good, the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, like it was a little weird having that kind of character, but nonetheless, I liked them. All right, now what the hell? GT part was goated. Future part was disappointing. I was expecting for a playable Zamasu and Vegito. Okay. So yeah, I'd say that was a pretty disappointing portion of the celebration as part 1. Everybody thought we were going to be getting a standalone, not a standalone, but a fusing Blue Vegito and a fusing Fusion Zamasu. A fusing Fusion Zamasu. That sounds nice. A Fusion Zamasu character that we could transform and actually play as, but they actually ended up just being active skills. Just for the part 2 to be a standalone Gogeta, which, I mean, that does kind of feel like a thorn in the back of a lot of players. Because, you know, we're expecting a new Vegito like anytime, like any day now, really. So it's like, if they went above and beyond to make a standalone Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, they should have just went the extra mile to make a standalone Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they did it for one, why not do it for the other two? I don't know. It was a little weird, but I'm still fine with them being active skills. I mean, even this comment right here, that was actually a major disappointment. And even before the celebration even started, like before we knew what they were actually going to look like, everybody was speculating. Are they going to be fusions? Are they going to be fusions? They were fusion active skills. And I was fine with either or. Like, I think what I've been telling the community is that they're saving up a bigger celebration for the standalone fusions. I'm telling you, standalone Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, standalone Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, they're coming. They're coming for sure. I want to say maybe like 11th anniversary. They're coming. Soon. That's just speculation, but they're coming soon. Okay, and then Scaren Joyer says, true Rosemasu tag should have fused while Vegito should have been standalone. Funnily enough, they would have had to make the same, maybe or less animations this way. I mean, yeah, when you have tag characters, like, you know, you can't really go too crazy on the animations because there's a lot more resources going out to make them, even though Dokkan does have the bread to do it. But, I mean, tag characters, they're so unique. Like, I'm not really tripping that hard. Okay, and then OK Butterscotch. I thought the celebration was awesome. Don't get me wrong. But if part 1 had just been standalone Vegito, Blue, and merged Zamasu, it would have been the best celebration ever. Okay, I mean, I can see where they're coming from, you know, like standalone fusions. Like, that's fine. A lot of people thought it would have been better if, you know, a lot of people... Okay, I'll say this. I know majority of the community wanted the standalone fusions. Which, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, if they're gonna market the fusion portion of the character, they might as well just be the fusion at that point, you know? Like, I mean, I don't think Dokkan really misled people, but at the same time, it's like, well, you guys kind of already knew what the player base wanted. Why not just, like, just shoot for it, you know? Like, just, they're gonna make the money regardless. Just shoot for it. Now, I think the only thing that really saved these characters was how good they were. Now, if the STR Blue Boys and the Rose Masu were bad, the community would have definitely soured on these characters a whole lot more. Like, they probably would have been the worst characters out of the celebration. But because their kits were so fire and they're actually really good units, the community kind of cut them some slack. You know what I mean? That's really what it was. Just the units were so fire that it kind of made up for the fact that they didn't fuse for the most part. All right, it felt intentionally impossible to summon these guys, made it not super fun. I mean, it's the same, you know, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. I mean, you know, good thing they did have the pity. If Dokkan didn't have pity, I probably wouldn't have pulled my my Gogeta. I wouldn't have pulled a second copy of Gogeta if I didn't have pity. And then GT, fucking peak, future disappointing, after party, trunk, Tenhan, random. Yeah, I will admit, the GT portion was like the most hype of the celebration. Like seeing Gogeta's animations, you could tell all the budget went to Gogeta, for sure. For sure. All right, then we got a nice little paragraph from Raging Steel. Just great. It was meant to be a replacement for the WWDC, and it fucking delivered. Aside from part EX feeling like it was an afterthought that was tacked on late into the planning process, the celebration was great. I don't really agree with this. Like, it didn't feel like an afterthought. I mean, they've been doing it. It's just the character choice didn't really make sense in conjunction to the whole celebration. Like, I think the celebration was like breaking through the limits. Yeah, that character didn't really, like, the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks didn't really fit the theme of breaking through the limits. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. Really good easy A's and super easy A's. That's true. Really, really, dude. Some of the best batch of easy A's and super easy A's we actually got in a minute. I'd probably say the only real stinker was probably the Fusion Zamasu easy A, but other than that, everything else is pretty good. With the sub easy A's being a nice addition, that's true. As the community was starting to believe they'd forgotten about those banner units altogether. Literally the best free-to-play team we've gotten, and it's not even close. Oh yeah, the Rose clone free-to-play team, that actually was really one of the best free-to-play teams we've gotten since the Meta Cooler Army from the 2022 Worldwide Download Celebration. Like, that was the last time we got a solid free-to-play team. And then now that we have these guys, like, they're really, really solid. Like, all the debuffing, all the stats they get when they're all linked up together, like, that's a solid free-to-play team. So don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. It's a little bit of a grind, yes, but as a free-to-play player, like, that's actually a pretty solid team to kind of like steamroll some of the earlier events, which you might have a little bit of trouble in the new ones, but I mean, everybody's having trouble. Most free-to-play teams upon launch and with their easy A's are usually good, and while not able to take on in-game content as a team, they can often be ran as filler on other teams. That's true, to clear them. But this team just fully free-to-play was fucking destroying the content from Annie, Golden Week, and even early events from GDC. Big facts. That's facts. That's facts. Yeah, I mean, the Rose clone free-to-play team is basically destroying everything early GDC and before that, which shows you how really, like, good these free-to-play characters are. And I think now that the celebration's over, we can actually talk about the boost characters. Yeah, so for the Int LR Goku Black Rose, he was a boost character for the Rose team, and now that he's gone, the team is missing something. It's missing that one unit. Like, the team is just, it's not that team anymore, you know what I mean? Like, they could have gotten at least one more character for, like, some long-term help, or maybe they're going to drop another Future Saga team later on, who knows? But yeah, that Super Bosses team, it's really lacking now that we don't have the boost for the characters anymore. That's the one thing that's kind of holding that team back. But aside from the free-to-play characters, like, it's still a pretty solid team nonetheless. You're just going to have trouble clearing a lot of this in-game content, though. The actual banners themselves were good, and while the side banner units were a bit underwhelming compared to what we believed from the info, the main units are amazing. And while the celebration gave us a pretty decent range of events, the units are good at a range of difficult content too, and each excel in a different kind of challenge. That's true. So now that's what I think Dokkan's really done a good job of the last couple of months, is that they're making different ranges of content that excel in a different way. So it's not just like you're fighting the same like gauntlet of like different shenanigans. Each fight does something differently for every unit to shine, or for different units to shine. And I really think that's the way Dokkan should really go. And it just makes the game more fun, you know? It's like, it's not catered all towards one character. You know what I mean? If you have a plethora of characters that can shine, then they will. You know what I mean? Like, take it like this. For the Omega Shenron team, right? There's some fights where you can debuff the enemies. And as far as I know, the majority of the Omega Shenron team is like prime debuffs. Like AGL Omega Shenron, he made a prime comeback with his debuffing, which really does help. You know, like he's a pretty old character, but it's him having the ability to debuff some of these fights, like it really does help the team out tremendously, for sure. And while the 50 ticket summon wasn't as good as the free any unit, having a 44% chance at a unit is still better than most celebrations. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I failed my 44% chance. I got a pretty like butt cheeks unit, but yeah, dude, if Dokkan was cooking again with the free unit, ooh man, this would probably be better than the 10th anniversary, if I'm being honest. This is probably one of the main things I didn't live up to the hype of the celebration was the 44% chance, and we've gotten a free unit before. So I mean, if Dokkan would have did that, they would have been cooking for sure. Overall, I think it was a success, and this has probably been up there with my favorite celebrations I played through. Yeah, I mean, GDC, I think it was a pretty huge success. Tons of good characters, easy A's, super easy A's, tons of good content, very challenging, and make you want to rip your hair out. And yeah, I'd probably give the GDC maybe like a solid, like, I give it like a 8.5 out of 10. I think that's solid, a solid 8.5 out of 10. And yeah, it was a success in my book. Okay. The Omega Erasure is insane, but he runs the best team in the game. Because he's so Boca with teeth. Oh, Boca with teeth official. Okay, first of all, he doesn't. Okay, Shadow Dragons is not the best team in the game. All right, let's just get that straight. It's a good team, but it's not the best team in the game, first of all. And yes, like I said, the Omega Erasure is crazy. Like I said, I forgot to add him in there. Doesn't mean he's bad. I just forgot. He wasn't in my camera roll when I updated this, when I uploaded this, these pictures. But no, he leads one of the best teams, but he's not leading the best team. Let's get that straight right there. I mean, really, if you're running him, you're running Shadow Dragons and GT bosses. I mean, they're both one and the same. But Shadow Dragons and GT bosses can actually really cook in a lot of these harder fights. So, like I said, not running the best team, but he's running one of the best teams as of now. What could have been better? The drop rates. Okay, the man who saw God. Best celebration in Dokkan history, IMO. The content was so perfectly difficult, so even if you have the new units, it didn't feel easy, which is something both the 9th and 10th anniversaries failed in. Well, okay, hold on. With this kind of content right here, you'd probably make a lot of people mad because people just want the new characters and expect to steamroll everything. And I actually agree with the fact that, you know, the content was perfectly tailored to some of these characters, as in not too weak to where they couldn't get one shot, but also not too strong to where it felt impossible. Now with the whole 13 million super attack from Gohan, that seems a little bit, that kind of made me feel a little uneasy, just in the sense of like, if they're going to be power creeping that fast, like that is low key, Dokkan, you need to chill out. You know, at 13 million, that's actually kind of crazy. But other than that, like all the events felt pretty challenging. Yeah, I agree. They were challenging. I know some of these events, they took me. So stage 4 and stage 5 of the next generation Saiyan's Magnificent Battle, those fights alone took me 3 days each. 3 days each to beat. I spent 3 days on one fight, bro, and it just kept getting cucked every time until I won. So that's pretty good to see. You know, it gets challenging, but you know you can win. The units were all around the same level of greatness, which makes many teams seem viable rather than just one that washes it all away. That's true. The generosity from the devs was almost on the same level as 10th Annie with the 244 ticket summons and the amount of stones given. And the animations were pure flames for all units. It was peak. I agree. You know, that actually, honestly, this deserves an upvote because the man who saw God was pretty much right about everything that he or she said. You know, it's like the animations were fire. The generosity from the devs, I mean, I feel like they keep getting more and more generous every year. And the units were all around the same level of greatness. Yep, I totally agree. The future team got shafted way too much. While GT had multiple easy A's and get a team, future stuck with the free-to-play team. Not saying it's a bad team, but there was a lot of units needed to get an easy A. Yeah, I mean, they definitely could have... They could have gave the future team a little bit more help. I can't agree with that, yeah. I mean, what? They gave us one boosted character that's not even runnable anymore after the celebration, and now it's like the future Saga Super Bosses team is low-key looking butt cheeks right now. But who knows? They might actually release another character before the year ends to kind of help that team out. So we'll see. We'll see. We have Tanabata coming up, so we don't know what that's going to be. And Prince NY7 says, honestly, I preferred the EX part to be an LR Baby Vegeta instead of Gohan. Now, everybody thought it was going to be another Baby Vegeta just from the kind of stages we were getting in the data download. But the fact that they dropped Gohan, I'm not mad at it, but I probably would have preferred a Baby Vegeta before Gohan, for sure. Like, this Gohan, he could have been just like some random in-between celebration, but no, we needed another GT bosses. I feel like to help the team out, we needed it. It was all good until the final stretch where they messed up on the coins being converted way too early. Yeah, that's true. But then again, Dokkan, they did fix it like, what, a day or two later, a couple of days later. So it's not like it was a long time thing. Okay, and then Goated. Only thing I didn't like is the lack of super bosses buffs. How do you release a Goated Goku Black with a horrendous leader skill and barely buff the team? I mean, that's what Dokkan's... Okay, I will say when it comes to like some teams that they feel like they don't want to invest too much in, that's what they do. I mean, with super bosses, yeah, they gave us a goated Goku Black, but I can't agree. They needed the extra super easy A's to help out. I mean, what? Like, we could have had the tech TUR, the tech TUR corrupted Zamasu. That could have gotten a super easy A. That would have helped the team out tremendously. But I mean, you know, we're basically shafted to a free-to-play team, which doesn't really feel good, even though they are good characters. It's just the super bosses did need more help. I'll give them that. That's probably the team that needed the most help and got the least amount of buffs. They should have just kept it as the global Annie. It's literally the same thing, but yeah, it was amazing. Overall, right there with the 10th Annie for me, immaculate easy A / free-to-play characters, with basically the 5 LRs being the best teams in the game and all the characters very fun and satisfying to use. I mean, guys, you know, Shamonimon, they listen to the feedback. You know, when we send in those player surveys, Dokkan, they listen to the feedback. It may take a while for them to implement it, but Dokkan, they do listen to the feedback. So, yeah, I feel like 5 LRs having the best teams in the game, they definitely listen to all of our feedback for sure. All right, and then Mertz 2000. Overall, it felt great. 5 incredibly powerful new units. Lots of easy A's, lots of new stages and stones, but I have a few minor complaints. All right, let's talk about it. I just wanted the Super Saiyan 4 easy A's to be a little bit better or not locked in specific slots. Although Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 easy A is great, and also I'm kind of concerned too. The new units feel like power creep in almost every way compared to 10th anniversary units, and it worries me for the future of the game. Usually the anniversary units were good enough to be run all year, but now 3 out of 6, arguably 4 out of 6, I'm looking at AGL Vegeta aren't runnable comfortably enough in the new content. I hope power creep won't be as fast as I fear. That I can't agree with, because, you know, the anniversary characters are we would hope they'd be pretty much made to be run all year comfortably. But I mean, and to be fair, usually around worldwide download celebration, they do kind of up the difficult content a little bit, but not like too crazy to where the characters are damn near unrunnable. Although when they did up the power on some of these new bosses, it did expose how weak defensively the 10th anniversary characters are, because they start out offensively and then you have to wait 4 turns in order to start building them up defensively. Which, I mean, by turn 4, like these bosses are pretty much hitting for like over 2, 3, almost 5 million. I'm talking to you, Goku Black. 5 million. Yes, I remember that. Oh, I remember he even hit PyCon for 12 million. He hit AGL PyCon for 12 million. So, I mean, no unit is living that at all. I mean, they just upped Gohan to 13 million. Start of turn 1, start of the fight. You get hit by a 13 million super attack. The only character that I've seen live that is Tech Broly from Worldwide Download 2024. That Tech LR Carnival Broly, he's the only one that I've seen survive that super attack. And he took that for 382k. I have it on footage. 382k. He took that. 13 million. 90% damage reduction, slot 1. That's the only character I've seen actually tank that and live. So it's getting scary out here. Even the new Super Saiyan 4 AGL Gogeta, he dies to that. He dies to that super. So I don't know. Dokkan, they probably got to chill out on all this power creep, because 13 million, that's a little overzealous. It's in contention for the best celebration in Dokkan history, although I think the 10th anniversary was better and will always be, until they gift us a free new featured character like they did with that stone during the, yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of people, some people were sour on the free gift, but a lot of people, they really liked it. You know, if you got shafted, you could at least get one free character. And that, I feel like that's the only thing that's really keeping the 10th anniversary above the GDC is that free character. The free, you could get a new free 10th anniversary character or anything before that. Like that was pretty valid. Like Dokkan was definitely valid for that, for sure. I gotta give that an upvote. That was a fire comment. All right, no quote 6076. For the first go ahead, I think it was extremely good. Tons of content, lots of stones, very powerful characters. The only misstep I feel would be that they could have done better was the theming. In previous WWDC, the themes were pretty consistent to be one overarching storyline. Namek Saga with Goku, Frieza, Exchange Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan. Cooler movie with Final Form and Meta Cooler and their respective opponents. This year was a little too disjointed. It ain't even manifested in Fusion Zamasu not being usable on Omega's team, which felt weird. Because previously, either hero side or villain side thematically fit enough to be run under one of the leader skills released during WWDC. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that because, you know, breaking through the limits, like that's so broad of a theme that, I mean, I really do feel like breaking through the limits, I feel like Gogeta was the only one that really fit that theme. I mean, because the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was the best character that came out of the GDC. So, yeah, thematically, I do think this celebration was kind of all over the place, which does make sense. I can agree with that. I just think it's not really emphasized or talked about enough because the characters were so good. You know what I mean? Like all 4 of the characters were legit bangers. But bangers. So I think a lot of things that the community probably could point out about the celebration was swept under the rug because of how good the characters were. I think that's what a lot of it is, to be honest. If the characters are good, then people aren't really as mad as they would be or be pointing out a lot of flaws. But I mean, overall, I do agree with this comment. This is a really good, take right here. This has been one of the best celebrations in Dokkan history. Insane meta shaker, tons of units, and best of all the content. It has been a while since I've had to go in multiple times to figure my way around fights. I do agree. Dokkan, they definitely cooked with how they want people to attack these fights and the different ways they can implement them. Like with Gohan doing the 13 million super, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks with them super attacking in every slot. for massive amounts of damage. And then what was another good fight? I mean, I guess the way they're making these characters hit so hard is like you kind of got to form different kinds of teams to really kind of see your way through that fight. I mean, with the Goku Black and Zamasu fight, I remember like when that fight first came out, everybody was up in arms about that fight. And rightfully so, because it was dummy hard. I mean, you had Zamasu, who healed, I think Zamasu healed like 250 million HP. And on top of that, he locks your rotations. Not only is he healing, he locks your rotations. So you got to worry about that. And then on top of that, you got Goku Black with the AoEs, and he could basically one-shot almost all your characters in any slot with the super attack. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's not really much you could do to get around that. I mean, besides you get lucky enough to take out Zamasu first, and then you focus on Goku Black. And even when you do, he starts getting more and more powerful every time you hit him, to a point where you can debuff him, but it's still not even going to matter because he's so powerful. He's going to one-shot you anyway. I mean, that team, really, the team I used to beat that fight was Mercenary Tao's team. And that was Earthbred Fighters. That was the only team that I actually used that could get me the dub. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, shout out to Inti Yamcha, because Inti Yamcha was legitly carrying me in that fight. With all the dodging in slot 1, dodging supers, AoEs, like he was cooking in that fight. So, yeah, you know, never thought I'd see myself using Inti Yamcha or Mercenary Tao in that fight, but they actually did justice, and they held their own for sure. Other than Omega getting the shaft with his animations, I really liked it all other than the final EX fights. It's not hard. It's just hope you can kill with 2 Wiis before you die from a max super attack. I mean, yeah, it really is what it felt like. I mean, to be fair though, Omega's team could actually clear that event pretty fast. The thing is with Omega, he could nullify that Gohan super. He could nullify that Dragon Fist. So, I mean, Omega Shenron, he could get utilized very, very, very well in these new fights. So, I mean, I know a lot of people were saying like, oh no, I'm not summoning for Omega Shenron. Like, Omega Shenron sucks. He has no good teams. His animations suck. Well, if you didn't summon for him and you're trying to beat that Gohan event, good luck. I know it can be done without him, but it just makes it a lot easier with him. You know what I mean? I just wish that Gogeta would stack defense for at least one turn. It's unnecessary for him to not have it, considering he would be perfect if he had it. Well, that's the thing, though. No unit can be perfect. Even AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, he fell victim to power creep, I want to say 2 weeks later with the Gohan fight. So, I mean, he would be too OP if he got defense on his super attacks, considering he's literally invincible in slot 1 for the most part. I mean, I wish Gogeta would have gotten the defense, but I still like him the way he is. He's still pretty good. Okay, Klondi. Okay, this is another good one. All right, weirdly positive comment section here. For me, one of the least enjoyable celebrations I can remember in my 8 years of Dokkan. Seeing brand new units plus brand new rainbowed EZA LRs get obliterated disgusts me. It makes me feel like buying stones was a huge waste of money. Seriously, this celebration convinced me to stop spending money on Dokkan after nearly a decade. What is even the point of the HP bar anymore? You either take double digits or instantly die. Just terrible design altogether. Okay, hold on, let me break this down real quick. I mean, one of the least enjoyable celebrations. Seeing brand new units. Okay. Seeing brand new units plus brand new rainbowed EZA LRs get obliterated disgusts me. Well, okay, to be fair, that's you and everybody in the community, including myself. But at the same time, it's like, you know, is it really a challenge if you don't make fights that can combat these kind of characters? I mean, think about it. The more crazier the characters are that come out, the crazier the fights are going to get. You know what I mean? Like, the fights are going to hit just as hard. Just as hard, as good as the characters we have. Which, I mean, sure. I mean, you get the new Rainbow LR, the new rainbowed EZAs. sure, they're made to compete, but more times than often, I think Dokkan's trying to get out of that situation of like, oh, so when we release these new EZAs, they're gonna obliterate all the new content. They don't want it to feel too easy, and I like that, you know? Like, yeah, like I was tearing my head off trying to finish all these fights, trying to beat the new events, even with the best characters, and I couldn't do it. It just added another layer of challenge, making me think outside the box, which I do kind of like in a sense, but I can't see where you're coming from. It does get annoying when they come out with a fight that can just literally one-shot any of your new characters. It feels like Red Zone 7th Anniversary all over again, low-key. Just with better pacing, though. With better pacing. I haven't paid a dime in several years. Had awful luck, too. Straight up didn't pull a banner LR for 2 years. I was in this effed off spot where the challenge tab was impossible, but everything else was too easy. This event dropped for me a total of 19 LRs for free, including AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. The game is playable again for me. I know what Red Zone feels like now. I can grasp the concept of a Super Easy A unit. It gave me the units I've wanted since I started playing back during the third Annie, like in Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who isn't a great unit, but I've wanted him since he was top tier. The event has been incredible for me. Your money wasn't a waste. You just need to shift your perspective and you'll see how amazing the event was. I mean, okay, that was a pretty good comment. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say too many bad things about the GDC celebration. Like, I thought it was really, really good. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the fights, it was still really good. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. We're going to be getting fights that are harder than the Gohan fight. Like, let's be real. Like, we thought Festival of Battles was hard, and it still kind of is. We thought Battle Hard and Formidable Foes was hard, and until they hit us with these 13 million supers from Gohan. Holy. We're going to get something even worse than Gohan by 11th anniversary. That's a fact. When 11th anniversary comes, we're going to get a boss battle way more terrible than Gohan. We thought 13 million supers were bad. Oh, man, I can't. just wait. Dokkan's cooking something up for sure. And then to be fair, like, you know for a fact, if Dokkan makes a fight that gets the community up in shambles, it was a good fight. For more times than often, it was a good fight. Some of these are a little cheese worthy, but more times than often, they made a pretty decent fight. Like, you can't steamroll it, but if you get lucky enough, you can win. Even with some good strategy, you still can win. Oh, and then somebody had to post a picture. Okay, I do think this is valid though. Like, I remember I had the new LR EZA Vegeta and Trunks. Put them in slot 1 for them to get cooked by this Goten and Trunks. That I was a little bit sad about. Like, dude, this is one of the best defensive characters in the game. Just for them to get one shot like that in slot 1, where they get almost all their buffs and their stats, still get one shot like that. I thought that was a little BS. Like, all right, come on, dude. Like, I can't even run them in slot 1 where they need to be because they get one shot regardless. Like, that's a little bad. I can't admit that one was a little bad. All right, SMB Drip. STR Goku and Vegeta should have been a standalone Vegito Blue, and Rose Masu should have been a fusing Rose Masu. Outside of that, the celebration was amazing. Maybe 1 or 2 longer fights like the Red Zones and Annie would have been nice, but I enjoyed most of the fights they had. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one. This is yeah. I think in terms of events, EZAs, pacing, and content in general, the celebration as a whole might be the best, though I've got to say this. I feel like in terms of units, the celebration was incredibly weak apart from Gogeta 4. Both Part 1 units are incredibly boring, but at least Rose looks amazing. Same can't be said about the Blues, though. Gotta be the most sauceless Part 1 major headliners of all time. Bro said the most sauceless Part 1 major headliner of all time. The Blues? Yikes. And Goku having mid animations and the FSGG animation being reused doesn't help. Omega deadass looks like a unit from 2020. How did they actually see his 18 key and think it was acceptable for 2025 Dokkan standards? LMAO, Gogeta was really the only prize I feel, but I'm probably alone on this one. Um. Okay, I mean, in terms of the Blues being the most sauceless Part 1 major headliner, I gotta disagree with that. I mean, their animations look fire regardless. Animations are fire. I mean, the Blues are probably one of the best. They might be the best character in the game right now. I mean, for the new hardest fight, I mean, they're probably the best. They can cancel Gohan's dodge canceling, at least for them himself. So you could put him in slot 1 and be able to dodge the Gohan super that's always in slot 1. I don't know. I mean, them being able to cancel dodge canceling, that's a pretty big ability. That's like some big league type shit right there. So, I mean, them being the most sauceless Part 1 headliner, I'm gonna have to disagree on that one. Omega deadass looks like a 2020 unit. I mean, Omega, his animations are alright. I mean, if they really wanted to, I feel like they could have gave him the Gogeta treatment, which I really would have liked. I think a lot of people are more sour on him because of his animations compared to Gogeta's, which is fair. But yeah, Gogeta, he's on a whole different level. Like, just everything about that character is just a league above the other three. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like, you kind of got me 50-50 on this one. I'll still give you the upvote, though. Would have liked AGL, Gohan, and Trunks to EZA, but aside from that, goated events, goated units. Okay. Units are cool as hell. Some of my favorite of all time. The new events are not fun so much I haven't even tried the latest ones and feel zero desire to do so. I mean, that'll change once we get better characters. Like, by the time 11th anniversary is done, those fights are going to be complete, like, child's play. It's going to be a cakewalk. A poll would certainly work here. Could have not shafted my ass on 4 out of the 5 units. More stones. I feel like they gave out a lot of stones. Give respect to the almighty Shadow Dragon. Guys, I'm sorry. I totally forgot him. I'm sorry. This is the upvote. 7 out of 10 at best. Okay, Seaweed 13. I thought the celebration was peak. The Gohan and Videl stuff was kind of way out there, but if that's all I have to complain about, it was good. They also cooked on the animations of celebration, which is always a win. Zamasu did nothing wrong. Yeah, I agree. I mean, overall, the celebration was actually really, really solid. Like, it felt like the perfect match of, like, literally everything from units to EZAs to super EZAs to boss fights. And just the overall amount of content that we got. Like, dude, we just been hounded with content back and forth for, like, the last month and a half, almost 2 months. Now we're about to go into Tanabata. Bro, Dokkan's on a NBA Game 7 championship run right now. And I actually like how the game is going so far. We'll see what Tanabata is looking like. But I'm expecting to at least see like something Daima at least. Now, like I said, I would give the GDC celebration a solid 8.5 out of 10. You know, no celebration is perfect. I mean, 10th anniversary was like a solid 9.5 just because of the free unit. But GDC, I give it like a solid 8.5. Like, I think that's pretty valid. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this community reaction. Just wanted to see where everybody's heads were at after the whole celebration was over. Which I think is fair. I was going to do one for like part 1 and part 2, but I feel a lot better now that the whole celebration has come to a conclusion. So now we can see how everybody feels after the fact. But yeah, thank you everybody who tuned into the video. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe. You're on the road to the big 400 subs, baby. 400 subs. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Adios, amigos.